Rush hour turned the city into a river of noise horns blaring, engines rumbling, people shouting through rolled-down windows. In the middle of the chaos, a tiny, muddy puppy stood on trembling legs, planted right in the center of the highway. His fur was matted, and his chest rose and fell so fast you could see his ribs moving. Every few seconds, a car would screech and stop just short of hitting him, but the puppy didn't move. He stared straight ahead, frozen by something nobody else could see. Drivers started getting angry. A big man in a red pickup pounded his horn. "Get that mutt off the road!" Someone shouted, but the puppy stood his ground, shivering and lost, eyes wide and desperate. People started yelling from their cars, but nobody dared to step into the river of metal and rubber to help him. On the shoulder, a silver sedan slowed down. Inside, a teenage boy named Sam pressed his face to the window, his heart racing. "Mom!" "Stop the car," he cried. "There's a dog in the road." His mom looked worried. "Sam, it's too dangerous. Someone else will help." "Nobody's helping," Sam said, already unbuckling his seatbelt. "Please, Mom, I can't just watch." She glanced in the rearview mirror, then nodded. "Be careful. Don't do anything stupid." Before she finished, Sam pushed open the door and ran out, weaving between idling cars. His legs felt like jelly, but he kept his eyes on the puppy, ignoring the drivers yelling at him. "Hey," one man called out, "are you crazy?" "You'll get yourself killed." Sam ignored them. He crouched low, holding out his hands, voice soft as rain. "Hey, little guy, it's okay. I'm not gonna hurt you." The puppy's ears flattened. He took a shaky step backward, then stopped, refusing to leave a spot on the faded yellow line. Sam noticed the way the puppy kept looking back over his shoulder, as if something important was waiting for him right there. "Come here, buddy," Sam said gently. "Let's get off the road. It's too dangerous out here." The world around them was still chaos, honking, yelling, the stink of gas, but Sam blocked it all out. He focused on the puppy, whose eyes were so full of fear it made Sam's throat tight. The puppy whimpered, backing away as Sam crept closer. "It's okay," Sam whispered. "I'm just trying to help you." A little girl in the back of a minivan pressed her hands to the window and whispered, "Don't let him get hurt, Mommy." The puppy let out a low, desperate yelp. His paws skidded on the hot pavement. Cars crawled by on either side, drivers peering out, some shaking their heads, others pulling out phones to film the scene. Sam inched closer, one hand outstretched. He could see the puppy's sides heaving, ribs sticking out. He looked like he hadn't eaten in days. Suddenly, the puppy darted forward, then stopped, glancing back again at a patch of road just behind him. He let out a soft bark, almost a plea. Sam froze, his mind racing. What's he looking at? Sam wondered aloud. Maybe he dropped something, called out a woman leaning from her window. Or maybe he's just scared. But Sam saw it, the way the puppy's gaze never left that same patch of road. It was like he was waiting for something. Or someone. The puppy lowered his head and let out a long, shaky whine. He turned in a slow circle, tail tucked tight, then sat down, refusing to move another inch. Sam knelt right there in the middle of the highway, cars crawling by on either side. "You're so brave," he said quietly, "but you can't stay here. It's not safe." The puppy looked up at him, eyes shining with tears. "Come on, buddy," Sam urged. "Please, let's go." But the puppy wouldn't budge. He let out a whimper and pressed his paw against the yellow line, as if trying to hold something in place. A police officer shouted through a loudspeaker, "Kid, get off the road." Sam ignored him. He looked at the puppy, desperate to understand. "What are you protecting, huh?" he whispered. "Why are you so scared to leave?" His mom stepped out onto the shoulder, calling, "Sam, please, get back." "Here, I can't," Sam shouted back, voice cracking. He won't move. He's protecting something, I can feel it. For a moment, it was just the boy and the puppy in the middle of the storm, the world spinning around them. The puppy stared into Sam's eyes, and Sam suddenly felt the weight of the little animal's fear and hope. He remembered how it felt to be alone, to need someone to notice. A truck rumbled by, making the ground shake. The puppy flinched but didn't run. Sam saw his chance. He lunged forward, arms out, and scooped up the muddy, trembling pup. The puppy fought, twisting and yelping, eyes wild with panic. It's okay, Sam said, holding him tight. I've got you. The crowd on the shoulder cheered and clapped. Sam carried the puppy toward safety, his heart pounding with relief, but the puppy squirmed, twisting in his arms to look back at that same spot on the road, yelping as if trying to tell Sam something. What's wrong? Sam asked softly. What did we miss? The puppy kept howling, his cries growing louder. Sam set him down on the grass, but the dog tried to bolt back into the street. Sam caught him just in time. People began to gather around, asking questions. Is he okay? A woman asked. Why was he out there? Sam just shook his head, kneeling beside the frantic puppy. He's trying to go back, he said. But why? The puppy's eyes pleaded with Sam. He whined and scratched at the ground, desperate to return to the chaos. Sam looked over the highway, then down at the trembling puppy beside him. Something wasn't right. He felt it in his bones. As traffic started to move again, Sam's heart beat faster. The puppy's cries wouldn't stop, and neither would the questions running through Sam's mind. What was this little dog trying to protect? And what was waiting out there in the traffic, just out of sight? The answer, Sam knew, was closer than it seemed. Sam held the puppy on the grass, but the little dog kept squirming, whimpering so loudly that people stared. Cars were moving again, horns fading, but in Sam's mind, everything felt louder than ever. The puppy clawed at Sam's arms, twisting his head toward the highway as if begging to go back. Easy, buddy, Sam whispered, trying to keep the puppy still. It's over. You're safe now. But the puppy didn't believe it. He howled, his little body shaking with panic. A tear rolled down Sam's cheek. Why won't you calm down? He muttered. What's out there? A gruff truck driver stepped closer, hands on his hips. Kid, is that mud herd or just plain wild? Sam shook his head. He's not wild. He's scared. I think he lost something. A young mother with a toddler on her hip approached. Did you check if he's got a tag? She asked softly. Sam shook his head, feeling the puppy's ribs beneath his fingers. No tag. He's just... The puppy let out a yelp, twisting again, almost breaking. Free. The woman frowned. Maybe he's hungry or thirsty. Sam nodded. Maybe. But deep inside, he knew it was more than that. The puppy's eyes kept darting to a certain spot just beyond the guardrail, near where the traffic had stopped out as people gathered. Someone handed Sam a bottle of water. The puppy sniffed it, then turned away, yelping desperately at the highway. Every time a car passed, he flinched, but his attention never wavered from that spot. A man in a blue shirt leaned over. He's trying to get back out there. You should hold him tighter. Sam pulled the puppy closer. I got you, he whispered. I promise. The puppy's chest heaved as he sniffed the air, whining so pitifully that Sam's heart ached. What are you looking for, buddy? He asked, stroking the puppy's head. The dog's gaze stayed locked on the road, as if someone was calling to him. Suddenly, a small sound broke through the hum of traffic. At first, Sam thought he imagined it, but then he heard it again, a faint, high-pitched cry. Almost lost beneath the roar of engines. The puppy went stiff in Sam's arms. His ears perked up. He barked once, sharp and urgent. Sam's pulse quickened. Did you hear that? He asked, looking at the woman beside him. She shook her head. Hear what? She, Sam said, holding up a hand. He listened, closing his eyes. There it was again, a weak, desperate cry coming from the edge of the road. The puppy whined louder, pawing at the grass, trying to drag Sam toward the sound. Sam didn't hesitate. He rose to his feet, cradling the puppy and moving quickly along the shoulder. The crowd watched, murmuring among themselves. The truck driver called out, "Where are you going, kid?" "I think there's something else," Sam replied, voice shaking. "He's trying to show me." The puppy barked again, more frantic now. His head twisted toward a patch of overgrown grass by the guardrail. Sam stepped closer, pushing aside weeds and trash. He paused when he spotted something odd, a small, torn blanket tangled in the weeds, muddy and ripped. Next to it, tiny paw prints led into the thicket. Sam's heart thud-dee-dee. He knelt, holding the puppy close. "Is this what you wanted?" he whispered, touching the blanket. The puppy sniffed it, then whimpered, pressing his nose into the fabric. The faint cry came again, clearer this time. Sam followed the sound, crawling forward. The puppy scrambled from his arms, leading the way. The crowd on the roadside grew. "What's he doing?" someone asked. Sam's mom called out, worry in her voice. "Sam, come back. It's not safe over there." Sam waved her off. "Just a minute, Mom. I have to check." A boy from the crowd ran over, phone out, filming. "He's looking for something. Maybe another puppy." The mother with the toddler gasped, "Oh no. Do you think there's more?" Sam's hand shook as he pushed deeper into the brush. The puppy darted ahead, sniffing wildly, then stopped. Suddenly, barking at a thick patch of grass. If you feel connected to this story, please like, share, and let me know your city or country below. "Wait up," Sam called, crawling after him. The cry came again, softer now, but unmistakable. He parted the grass and saw something small and pale moving underneath. Sam's breath caught in his throat. He reached out gently, brushing dirt and grass away. His heart hammered. The puppy licked Sam's hand, then whined, eyes pleading for help. Sam glanced back at the crowd, voice trembling. "Somebody call for help. There's something here." The woman with the toddler grabbed her phone. "I'm calling animal control." Sam's mom hurried over, her face pale. "Sam, what did you find?" Sam looked up at her, tears in his eyes. "I think he's not alone, Mom. I think there's more puppies." The puppy pressed himself against Sam's side, as if begging him not to stop. His whines echoed in the air, carrying a message no one could ignore. Sam pulled out his phone, shining the flashlight into the darkness. What he saw made his blood run cold. The next moment would change everything for him, for the puppy, and for whatever was hiding. In the grass just a few feet away, Sam's hand shook as he aimed the flashlight deeper into the grass. The puppy beside him whimpered and pressed close, pushing his nose into the dirt, desperate and anxious. The crowd stayed back, but their voices blended into a quiet murmur. For Sam, the whole world had shrunk to this small patch of overgrown weeds and the heart-pounding fear in his chest. He could hear the faint cry again, so weak it sounded like a whimper swallowed by the earth. Sam parted the thick grass, his breath catching as the beam of light landed on a battered cardboard box, partly crushed and nearly hidden beneath the weeds. The puppy barked, then let out a yelp that was half a sob, pawing frantically at the soggy cardboard. Sam's throat tightened. "It's okay, I'm here," he said quietly, reaching for the box. His fingers brushed against something cold and damp, a piece of old tape holding the lid shut. The puppy scratched at the box, claws scraping, while Sam carefully peeled the tape away. The box flinched with movement inside, and a wave of panic rushed over Sam. "Hang on, buddy. I got you," he whispered. He opened the lid, his heart pounding so hard he thought he'd be sick. Inside, huddled together, were two tiny puppies. Their fur was soaked, patchy, and caked with mud. They looked up with milky, frightened eyes, trembling as they tried to press deeper into the shadows of the box. The puppy, now frantic with relief, jumped into the box and started licking his siblings all over, whining and crying, tail wagging. Wildly, Sam knelt in the grass, tears stinging his eyes. "It's his family," he breathed. The puppies could barely lift their heads. One let out a soft whimper, the other barely moved at all. Sam's mom appeared behind him, breathless. "Sam, what did you find?" "Puppy's mom, there's more." "Someone left them here," Sam said, voice trembling. He looked up at her, hoping for an answer, but she only covered her mouth in shock. Behind them, the crowd's whispers grew. A woman gasped, "How could someone do that?" A young man nearby started filming, his phone aimed at Sam and the puppies. The world seemed to move in slow motion, with people watching, some helpless, others angry. The Maine puppy licked his siblings, never stopping his cries. It was like he'd been holding on for this moment, refusing to leave the road until someone came to help his family. Sam's mom wiped a tear from her eye. "We have to call for help. I already called animal control." The woman with the toddler shouted, her voice shaky. A siren wailed in the distance. Sam heard it and felt a glimmer of hope. The two puppies in the box were so small, ribs showing through their skin. One of them tried to move and let out a cry that nearly broke Sam's heart. He reached into the box, gentle as he could. "Hey, little ones, it's gonna be okay," he said softly. The Maine puppy barked at him, not in anger, but in fear that his family would be taken away. Sam met the dog's eyes and whispered, "I promise. I'm not leaving them." A few bystanders stepped closer, trying to see. The truck driver frowned, shaking his head. "No animal deserves this. World's gone crazy." Sam ignored the voices. His focus was on the puppies, how they shivered, how their breaths came so fast, how scared they looked. He took off his own hoodie and laid it on the grass. Carefully, he moved the box onto the soft fabric. The Maine puppy watched every move, never leaving his siblings. "Let's keep them warm," Sam said, wrapping the hoodie around the box. He glanced at his mom. "Do you have any snacks or water?" She shook her head. "Nothing for puppies. Just my bottle." Sam poured a little water into his palm and held it to the puppies' mouths. The Maine puppy licked at it, then gently nudged his siblings to try as well. The tiniest one just shivered, too weak to move much. Sam's voice broke as he looked up at the crowd. "Does anyone have a towel or a blanket?" "Please," a man rushed to his car and brought back a faded beach towel. "Here, kid. It's clean." "Thank you," Sam said, laying it over the puppies. The sirens grew louder until a rescue van pulled up. Two animal rescue officers stepped out, carrying a crate and some supplies. One officer, a kind-looking woman named Ms. Reed, hurried over and knelt beside Sam. "What have we got here?" she asked gently. Sam showed her the box, voice shaking. "They were just left here, in the grass. I think they're really sick." Ms. Reed nodded, her eyes softening as she inspected the puppies. "You did the right thing, son. We'll take care of them now." The Maine puppy growled softly as Ms. Reed reached in, but Sam held him close. He's scared for them. He waited for someone to help. Ms. Reed smiled. "You're a brave little guy," she said to the puppy. "Don't worry, we're here now." Sam stroked the puppy's fur, voice trembling. "Don't let them take your family, okay? I'll stay with you." As Ms. Reed and her partner gently lifted the puppies into a carrier, people watched in silence. Some wiped their eyes, others filmed, trying to capture a moment that felt bigger than words. Sam stayed close, feeling the puppy's heart racing against his hand. He knew this wasn't the end, just the beginning. The puppy pressed against. "Sam, eyes never leaving the carrier where his siblings lay. Sam whispered, "I won't let anything happen to them." "Not now." The Maine puppy whined softly, but this time there was hope in his eyes. The storm clouds above rumbled, warning of rain, as the rescue team carried the fragile box toward the waiting van. Sam, his mom, and the puppy followed, hearts heavy but filled with a new promise. Thunder rumbled as the animal rescue van's doors slid open. Sam hovered by the curb, his heart pounding as Ms. Reed set the battered box gently inside. The Maine puppy scrambled after his siblings, panic rising in his. Frantic whimpers. He shoved his nose through the crate bars, crying so loud even the officers paused. Sam's mom stood beside him, her umbrella useless against the building wind. "We should head home, Sam," she said softly, but Sam shook his head. "I want to go with them," Sam whispered. "He's scared. He thinks they'll take his family away." Ms. Reed glanced at him. "Are you the boy who found them?" Her voice was kind but tired. Sam nodded. "Please, let him ride with his family. He's been protecting them the whole time. He won't calm down unless he's with them." Rain started to fall, cold and heavy. The puppy's yelps rose, desperate and wild. Ms. Reed hesitated, then sighed. "All right. You can ride with us, but you have to listen and stay out of the way, okay?" "Yes, ma'am," Sam promised. Ms. Reed opened the crate just enough for the Maine puppy to wiggle in. Instantly, he curled around his siblings, licking their ears and pressing against their sides. The tiniest puppy shivered, barely breathing, but relaxed under his brother's touch. Sam climbed into the rescue van, squeezing onto a narrow bench. Ms. Reed drove, her partner checked on the puppies in the back. Sam watched raindrops streak down the windows, the city blurring past. The inside of the van smelled like wet dog and disinfectant. The puppies whimpered quietly, the Maine puppy watching Sam with pleading eyes. Sam reached a hand through the bars. "I'm still here, little guy," he whispered. "I'm not leaving you," Ms. Reed spoke over her shoulder. "They're lucky you found them. Most people would have kept driving." Sam shook his head. He wouldn't let anyone pass. He was ready to get hit just to keep people from driving over them. Ms. Reed's partner nodded. "You saved their lives." The van jerked as it hit a pothole. The smallest puppy let out a faint whimper. The Maine puppy nuzzled him, his tail thumping weakly. Sam felt tears sting his eyes. "Are they going to make it?" Ms. Reed looked at him in the rearview mirror. "We'll do everything we can. But they're weak, dehydrated, and cold. Tonight's going to be tough." Sam swallowed hard. "Can I stay with them? Just for a while?" She nodded. "You can sit with them while we check them in." Lightning flashed outside. The van pulled up to the animal shelter, a plain brick building with a glowing sign above the door. Ms. Reed's partner jumped out, racing to get the door before the rain soaked them all. Inside, the shelter was bright but noisy, full of barking and sharp smells. Sam followed the rescue officers to the back room. The Maine puppy refused to leave his siblings, pressing himself against them while the staff rushed around with towels and supplies. One nurse leaned over. "He's really protective," she said, smiling sadly. Sam nodded. "He wouldn't let anyone touch them before. He only trusted me." Ms. Reed gently lifted the tiniest puppy, wrapping her in a warm towel. The Maine puppy whined, shoving his nose against her hand. "It's okay," she said softly. "I'm not taking her far. She just needs heat and fluids." Sam stroked the Maine puppy's head. "They're not going anywhere. See? You can still watch them." The storm outside battered the windows, wind howling through the gaps. Sam's mom stood at the door, quietly watching. Sam felt tired, but he wouldn't leave, not while the puppies were so scared. Ms. Reed came back with good news. "They're stable for now. The littlest one is still in danger, but you got to them just in time." The Maine puppy curled up beside his siblings, still, trembling but finally closing his eyes. Sam reached in and let the puppy rest his head in his hand. Sam's mom stepped forward. "Sam, are you ready to go home now?" Sam shook his head. "Just a little longer." "He needs to see they're okay," Ms. Reed nodded. "You can sit with them a while, but they'll need lots of rest tonight." Sam sat cross-legged beside the crate, feeling the warmth from the puppy's fur. "You're safe now," he whispered. "You did it. You kept them alive." The puppy gave a small sigh, his body relaxing for the first time since Sam found him. Miss Reed gave Sam a gentle smile. "You should be proud. Most kids wouldn't have done what you did." Sam looked at her, voice full of hope and worry. "Promise you'll take care of them?" She nodded. "I promise, Sam, but they'll need luck and care to survive the night." Sam squeezed the puppy's paw. "Hang on, little guy. Tomorrow will be better." Rain pounded the roof as Sam's mom gently took his hand, ready to lead him home. But as he stood to leave, he looked back one last time at the crate, at the Maine puppy pressed close to his siblings, refusing to sleep unless he knew they were safe. And outside, the storm raged on, but inside, for the first time, there was hope. Shelter lights burned through the stormy darkness, casting pale halos across the tile floors. Sam sat in a stiff plastic chair by the row of incubators, his jacket soaked and shoes squelching. He watched through the glass as the 3 puppies lay on tiny towels, each shivering, tubes taped gently to their legs. The Maine puppy's eyes followed every movement of the staff, never drifting far from his siblings. A shelter worker in blue. "Scrubs, Ms. Colley. Check the puppies' IVs." She bent down and smiled at Sam. "They're fighters, you know," she said, voice soft. "I've seen a lot of strays come through here, but not many with a brother like him." Sam nodded, wiping at his eyes. "He wouldn't leave them, not even for a second." "He's got heart," Miss Colley agreed. "But it's a long night ahead." Rain lashed the windows, making the whole shelter feel even smaller. Sam's mom sat nearby, reading messages on her phone, worry lines deep in her forehead. She kept looking at the clock, but Sam refused to move. The Maine puppy pawed at the incubator glass. His siblings, the tiniest one especially, barely lifted their heads. Every few minutes, Sam would whisper, "You're not alone. I promise." Sometimes, the puppy pressed his nose to the glass as if he understood. The hours dragged. The puppy's breathing was uneven, sometimes shallow, sometimes barely there. Sam's heart clenched every time the littlest one wheezed. "Come on, you can do it," he murmured. "Don't give up." A veterinarian entered, her face serious. She crouched beside Sam. "These pups are in rough shape. They're fighting dehydration, shock, and infection. But you brought them in just in time." Sam nodded. "Will they make it?" "We're doing everything we can," she said gently, "but it's a critical night." The Maine puppy whined, pacing in his little enclosure, eyes fixed on his siblings. When the staff moved the tiniest one to check her for, he barked and scratched at the glass. "He's worried," Sam said. "He thinks you're taking her away." Double quotes, Miss Colley smiled. "He's a brave brother. Maybe the bravest I've seen." Sam looked at his mom. "Can I stay here? Please? Just until morning?" She sighed, tired. "Just a little longer, Sam." Hours crept by. The shelter grew quiet except for the rain and the soft hum of machines. Sam watched the puppies as his eyes grew heavy. He felt the Maine puppy's pain, his refusal to sleep, his determination to protect his family. It was like the puppy believed he was the only one standing between his siblings and the dark. A sudden alarm beeped. The smallest puppy stopped breathing, her tiny chest motionless. Sam's heart stopped. "Help!" he cried. "She's not breathing." Miss Colley rushed over. "It's okay, Sam. Give us space." The staff worked fast, rubbing the puppy's chest, giving her oxygen, murmuring encouragement. Sam's hand shook as he clung to the Maine puppy, who barked and cried. Nose pressed against the glass. Sam whispered, "Please, don't leave him. Please come back." Seconds stretched forever. Then, with a gasp, the littlest puppy shuddered and took a shaky breath. Relief crashed over Sam so strong he almost sobbed. The Maine puppy wagged his tail weakly, watching as his sister came back to life. Ms. Collie gave Sam a thumbs up. "She's not out of the woods, but she's fighting." Sam nodded, wiping away tears. He leaned his head against the glass. "I told you, you're not alone. We're all here." The shelter lights dimmed for the night. Sam's mom brought him a blanket, and he dozed in the chair, waking every few minutes to check the incubators. Each time he opened his eyes, the Maine puppy was still there, alert and watchful, refusing to rest unless his siblings were breathing easy. At one point, Miss Collie brought Sam a mug of warm tea. "He really trusts you," she said, watching the puppy follow Sam's every move. Sam shrugged. "He saved his family. I just helped." "You gave him hope," she replied. The hours passed in slow motion. Rain hammered the roof. Shadows danced on the walls. Sometimes Sam's mom dozed in her chair, but Sam never took his eyes off the puppies. Why did someone leave them? He whispered into the darkness, not expecting an answer. Ms. Collie sat down beside him. "Some people are cruel, Sam, but tonight you showed them kindness." The Maine puppy curled up, pressing close to his siblings, eyes closing just for a moment. Sam reached into the incubator and rested his hand near the puppy's paw. "You did good, little guy," he murmured. Suddenly, the tiniest puppy whimpered and moved her head. Sam grinned. "She's still here," he whispered, and the Maine puppy wagged his tail. A soft thump in the quiet room. Before dawn, Miss Collie checked on the puppies one last time. "They've made it through the worst," she whispered to Sam. "They just need to rest now." Sam's mom came over, rubbing his back. "Let's go home and sleep for a few hours, okay?" Sam hesitated, looking at the Maine puppy. "I'll be back," he promised softly. "I won't let you down." As Sam and his mom left, the Maine puppy pressed against the glass, watching him go but no longer afraid. His siblings were breathing steady now, the nightmare of the night slowly fading as morning crept over the shelter. For the first time since he'd been found, the Maine puppy closed his eyes, comforted by the warmth of his family and the promise that he was not alone. Morning light streamed through the shelter's blinds, soft and golden. Sam rushed back in, barely pausing at the front desk. His eyes darted to the incubators, breath held tight. All three puppies were there, alive. The Maine puppy perked up as soon as he spotted Sam, tail thumping against the towels. For a second, it felt like hope had finally arrived. Ms. Collie greeted him with a gentle smile. "Back already, Sam?" He nodded. "I promised I'd be here." He knelt beside the incubators. The Maine puppy pressed his nose to the glass, watching Sam's every move. "They made it through the night," Miss Collie said softly. "But the littlest one is still weak." "We're keeping a close eye," Sam whispered to the puppy. "See? I told you I'd come back." The puppy whined, licking at the glass. A young volunteer, Mia, knelt beside Sam, a bowl of soft food in her hand. "He's been waiting for you. Won't eat unless you're here." Sam smiled, reaching through the small hatch. "Hey, buddy, you gotta eat. Your family needs you strong." The puppy sniffed at Sam's fingers, then took a hesitant bite. His siblings, encouraged, tried as well. For a moment, there was only the soft sound of puppies eating and the steady beat of Sam's heart. Mia watched quietly, then whispered, "He's protecting them with everything he's got." Miss Collie nodded. "We've started calling him Lucky. Seems like he earned it, don't you think?" Sam looked at the puppy, surprised. Lucky? Mia smiled. Yeah, lucky for his family. Lucky you found them. Sam laughed, wiping his eyes. It fits, Miss Colley stood. Word's out about the highway puppies. We're getting calls from people who want to adopt him. Lucky stopped eating and glanced at his siblings, eyes wide and scared. Sam frowned. He's not ready to leave them. You can't split them up. Mia sighed. It happens. Sometimes people only want the healthy one. Sam shook his head. No way. Lucky won't go unless his family goes too. Shelter director Mr. Hunt walked in, reading a clipboard. Morning, Sam. We've had interest in Lucky, but I agree he isn't going anywhere yet. These three need each other. They're still healing. Lucky wagged his tail, pressing close to his siblings. Mia set fresh towels in the incubators, whispering, They're safe here, I promise. Outside, news crews started to gather. Sam could see reporters through the window, cameras aimed at the building. What's going on? He asked Miss. Colley chuckled. Your rescue's gone viral. People saw your video on social media. Everyone wants to help now. Sam glanced at Lucky, who shivered at the sound of unfamiliar voices. He doesn't like all the attention, Sam said softly. Mr. Hunt came over, kneeling beside Sam. Not all stories end happy. Some puppies don't make it, Sam. Nights like that last one, they're hard to survive. Sam nodded, voice shaking. I know, but Lucky and his siblings are fighters. Please let them stay together. Mr. Hunt put a hand on Sam's shoulder. We'll do our best. You should go talk to those news folks. They want to meet the boy who saved the puppies. Sam hesitated, glancing at Lucky. The puppy stared back, wide-eyed, uncertain. Will you stay with him, Mia? She nodded. Always. Sam stood and headed outside. Reporters crowded around him, microphones in his face. How did you know to look for the puppies? One asked. Sam shrugged, nervous. It wasn't me. Lucky wouldn't leave the road. He kept going back. He saved them, not me. Inside, Lucky pressed against the glass, watching Sam with every step. Mia stroked his back. You're a hero, Lucky. Everyone out there wants to thank you. Lucky whined, missing Sam, but his siblings snuggled closer, comforted by his presence. After the news, Sam hurried back inside, relieved to find Lucky waiting. I'm back, buddy. Didn't forget you. Lucky licked Sam's hand, tail wagging at last. Mia grinned. He's eating better already. Guess he just needed his friend. Later that afternoon, Miss Colley returned with more food. You've got a big decision, Sam. There are families who want to adopt Lucky, but he's only happy when you're here. Sam's chest tightened. He belongs with his family. I wish I could keep them all. Mia leaned closer. Maybe you can. Maybe your mom would say yes. Sam shook his head, doubtful. It's not that easy. My mom's got work. We barely have space. Lucky whimpered, sensing Sam's worry. He nudged his siblings, curling around them like a shield. Mr. Hunt watched, sighing. He's protecting them with everything he's got. Some dogs are just like that. Night fell. Sam sat quietly with Lucky and his siblings, telling them stories in a whisper. You're safe here, I promise. No one's ever splitting you up again. Lucky rested his head on Sam's lap, finally closing his eyes. For the first time, Sam saw the puppy relax. Trusting the world just a little. As the shelter closed for the night, Sam said softly, Good night, Lucky. I'll see you in the morning. Lucky opened one eye, as if to say he believed him. Outside, the world buzzed with news of the brave highway puppy. But inside the shelter, Lucky and his siblings slept huddled together, holding tight to the hope Sam had given them. The shelter felt different the next morning. Sam noticed it right away as he pushed open the door. There was a strange tension in the air, like the wind before a thunderstorm. Lucky and his siblings were still curled up together in the incubator. But the puppy's ears perked up as soon as Sam entered, tail thumping softly. Sam dropped his backpack by the chair and greeted them. "Hey, Lucky. Hey, little ones. Did you sleep okay?" Lucky licked Sam's fingers through the glass, eyes bright but cautious. "Miss." Collie met Sam at the desk, her voice low. "There was a man here early, asking about the puppies. He didn't give his name. Just kept saying he wanted to see the strays from the highway." She frowned, glancing toward the kennels. "He seemed off." Sam's stomach tightened. "Did he say why?" She shook her head. "No, but when I told him visitors aren't allowed before hours, he just stared at the kennels and left. I wrote down his license plate. Mr. Hunt is checking the cameras." Sam watched Lucky through the glass. The puppy was on edge, sniffing the air, watching every movement by the shelter door. "What if he comes back?" "We'll be careful, miss," Collie promised. "You just focus on Lucky. He's been a little jumpy this morning." Sam nodded, heading to the incubators. As soon as he opened the hatch, Lucky squirmed out and pressed himself against Sam's side. His body trembled, and he kept glancing toward the windows. Even his siblings, usually so calm when Sam was near, seemed nervous. Mia arrived with breakfast and crouched beside Sam. "He hasn't eaten yet, not even for me. Something spooked him." Sam stroked Lucky's head, whispering, "You're okay. I'm here now." But Lucky's gaze stayed locked on the shelter entrance. Suddenly, the door creaked open and a tall man stepped in, wearing a gray jacket. His eyes were sharp and restless, scanning the room quickly. He stopped when he saw the puppies. Sam froze. Lucky pressed closer, a low growl rumbling from his chest. The man spoke loudly. "Are those the puppies from the highway?" Mr. Hunt stepped forward, voice firm. "We don't give information about rescues to strangers. Can I help you with something?" The man sneered. "They're just strays. No one cares about some dirty mutts." Sam felt anger boil in his stomach. He hugged Lucky tighter. "They're not just strays," he shot back. "They're family." The man glared at Sam, then glanced at Lucky and his siblings. Lucky's growl grew louder, eyes wide with fear. It was clear he remembered this man. His body shrank, ears flat, tail between his legs. "Ms." Collie whispered to Mia, "Call animal control now." Mia nodded, slipping away to make the call. The man turned to leave, but not before giving Sam a cold look. "Some dogs don't belong here. Just remember that." As the door closed behind him, the tension broke. Sam could breathe again, but Lucky was shaking all over, head buried against Sam's arm. Mr. Hunt came over, voice gentle. "You did good, Sam. You kept your head." Sam nodded, heart still racing. "Lucky knew him, didn't he? That was the man who left them." Ms. Callie's eyes were sad. "It seems like it. Sometimes animals remember the people who hurt them. That's why Lucky is so protective." Sam whispered to Lucky, "He's never coming back. Not while I'm here. You're safe." Lucky whimpered, but slowly relaxed as Sam stroked his fur. His siblings pressed closer, drawing comfort from their brother's presence. Mia returned, breathless. "Animal control is on their way. They said to keep an eye out and don't let anyone near the kennels." Mr. Hunt nodded. "We'll add more security. No one's getting near these puppies." News about the incident spread through the shelter. Volunteers took turns watching the doors. Sam stayed by Lucky's side all day, refusing to leave him alone. Whenever footsteps echoed in the hallway, Lucky's ears shot up. But he stayed close to Sam. In the afternoon, animal control officers arrived. They spoke with Mr. Hunt and reviewed the security footage. One officer, a tall woman named Officer Bell, knelt by Sam and Lucky. "Did you see the man before today?" she asked softly. Sam shook his head. "No, but Lucky recognized him. He got so scared." He's never acted like that around anyone else." Officer Bell nodded. "Thank you, Sam. We'll do our best to find him." As the officers left, Mia tried to lighten the mood. She brought Lucky a squeaky toy shaped like a duck. "Here, Lucky. Want to play?" she coaxed. Lucky sniffed the toy, but instead of playing, he pushed it toward his siblings, wanting them to feel safe first. Sam smiled at his loyalty. He's always putting them first. Evening came. The storm from the day before had passed, but the memory of the man's visit left shadows in every corner of the shelter. Sam's mom came to take him home, but Sam lingered by the incubators. He whispered to Lucky, "I'll be back first thing. I promise." Lucky watched him go, eyes following until Sam disappeared from sight. As the lights dimmed, Lucky curled around his siblings, guarding them through the night. He didn't sleep much, always listening, always waiting for the sound of danger, but he wasn't alone anymore. Not while Sam and the others watched over him. The shadows from the past were still there, but for the first time, Lucky had hoped that someday they might finally fade. The next morning, the shelter buzzed with nervous energy. News of the stranger's visit spread quickly, making everyone extra watchful. Sam rushed in as soon as the doors opened, heart pounding, hoping that Lucky and his siblings had made it safely through another night. To his relief, all three puppies were huddled together, eyes bright but wary. Lucky spotted Sam first and pressed his nose to the glass, tail wagging just a little. Ms. Collie met Sam with a tired smile. "Morning, Sam. Lucky's been waiting for you." Sam knelt by the incubator, whispering, "I'm here, buddy. You're safe." Lucky let out a gentle whine, his body finally relaxing at Sam's voice. Animal control officers returned soon after. Officer Bell carried a folder of papers and a small tablet. She sat down next to Sam, her expression serious but kind. "Sam, we found something on the shelter's cameras and on a nearby traffic camera. Would you like to see?" Sam nodded, his stomach tight with dread. Miss Collie joined them, hand on Sam's shoulder. Officer Bell tapped a screen, and a short video played. It showed a car pulling onto the shoulder of the highway late at night. The same man from yesterday's shelter visit got out, carrying a battered cardboard box. He looked around quickly, then tossed the box into the grass and drove away without a second thought. Sam clenched his fists. Lucky's ears went flat as he watched, pressing closer to Sam. It was clear he remembered every second of that awful night. Officer Bell paused the video. "There's more," she said quietly. The next clip showed the box shaking. The main puppy Lucky squeezed out through a ripped corner and crawled onto the road. Moments later, headlights flashed past, but Lucky stayed, barking and pacing, trying to get someone's attention. Sam wiped away a tear. "He was trying to save them," he whispered. "He wouldn't leave his family." Miss Collie hugged Sam gently. "He's a hero, Sam. He was risking everything for his siblings." Officer Bell nodded. "It's a crime to abandon animals like that. We're going to press charges. The man who did this won't get away with it." Lucky whimpered, still staring at the tablet as if he was waiting for the man to come back. Sam stroked his fur, voice low and gentle. "He can't hurt you anymore, Lucky. You're safe here. I promise." As word spread through the shelter, staff and volunteers checked on the puppies, offering treats and soft words. Everyone seemed to move more carefully around Lucky, treating him like a fragile treasure. Later that day, Ms. Reed from Animal Rescue came to visit. She sat with Sam and watched the puppies sleep. "You did something special, Sam. You gave them a chance when nobody else would have." Sam shook his head. "Lucky did all the work. He's the reason we found them." Ms. Reed smiled. "Maybe. But sometimes it takes both a brave animal and a caring person to change a story like this." Outside, the sky was clearing for the first time in days. Sunlight streamed through the shelter windows, casting warm patches across the floor. Lucky stretched out, pressing close to his siblings, eyes drifting shut in the warmth. Sam sat quietly by the glass, feeling relief for the first time since the rescue. "We're going to get through this, Lucky, all of us." News of the case reached the local paper, and soon the shelter's phones rang nonstop with adoption offers and donations. But Sam always answered the same way. Lucky and his family stayed together. That afternoon, as Sam was getting ready to leave, Officer Bell came over with a gentle smile. "The investigation will take time, but we'll protect these puppies. You have my word." Sam nodded. "Thank you." Lucky pressed his face to Sam's hand, letting out a deep, shaky sigh. The weight of everything he'd carried seemed to lift, just a little, as if he finally knew someone believed him. "Ms. Colley whispered. "He'll need time to heal, Sam. They all will, but you gave them hope. That's more than most ever get." Sam looked into Lucky's tired eyes and promised, "No one will ever hurt you again, I swear it." As the day faded into evening, the shelter felt lighter. Lucky snuggled closer to his siblings, letting out soft, contented breaths. The shadows of his past were still there, but the truth had come out, and now, finally, someone was fighting for them. And as Sam left the shelter, he looked back one last time and smiled. The puppies weren't just survivors, they were a family. Safe at last and never alone again. Night had settled quietly over the shelter, and for once it felt peaceful. The puppies were asleep in their warm enclosure, Lucky's head resting on his smallest sibling. Sam had left only an hour ago, after whispering promises through the glass. The staff dimmed the lights, checked all the locks, and went about their closing routine, believing the worst had finally passed. But outside, a car idled in the dark parking lot. Its headlights were off, engine rumbling low. No one inside the shelter noticed the figure that slipped out, moving quickly and silently toward the back door. The stranger tried the handle, found. It locked and disappeared around the side, searching for another way in. Inside, the shelter dogs started barking. At first, it was just a few sharp yelps, then a rising chorus. Lucky stirred, ears pricking up. He sniffed the air, uneasy. His siblings slept on, but Lucky couldn't shake the tension that suddenly filled the room. He stood, pressed his nose to the bottom of the enclosure, and whimpered. The barking grew louder. In the staff room, Miss Colley frowned, putting down her coffee. "What's got them all worked up?" She muttered. Down the hall, the back door rattled. Lucky growled, a deep sound for such a small dog. He nudged his siblings awake, pacing anxiously. His tail was stiff, fur on end. Suddenly, there was a loud bang. A window in the supply room shattered. The stranger crawled inside, ignoring the shards of glass. He moved quickly, keeping low, heading straight for the kennels. Lucky barked sharply, rousing the other animals. His siblings whimpered, confused and frightened. Lucky ran to the edge of the enclosure, barking as loud as he could. The noise echoed through the halls, bouncing off tile and metal. Ms. Colley grabbed a flashlight and hurried toward the noise. As she turned the corner, the stranger ducked behind a stack of crates, watching her carefully. She glanced around, heart pounding, but saw nothing. "Just my imagination," she whispered, turning back. As soon as she left, the stranger crept forward, eyes locked on the puppy's enclosure. Lucky met his gaze and let out the loudest bark he'd ever managed, baring his teeth. The man hesitated, startled by the small dog's courage. "Stupid mutt," the man whispered. He pulled a pair of gloves from his pocket, glancing nervously at the doors. Lucky's barking didn't stop. He hurled himself against the enclosure, making as much noise as he could. The other dogs joined in, howling and barking in a frenzy. Lights came on throughout the building as staff members woke up, realizing something was wrong. "Call the police." Someone yelled. Lucky's heart pounded. He stood between his siblings and the intruder, refusing to back down. The man reached for the latch, but Lucky snapped at his hand, teeth bared. The man cursed, pulling back just as the staff rushed in. Ms. Collie saw the man and shouted, "Hey, get away from them!" She threw herself between the stranger and the puppies, blocking his path. The man glared, then ran for the broken window. But Lucky lunged again, barking furiously, refusing to let the man near his family. The staff followed the intruder, but he slipped out into the night, vanishing before the police arrived. Ms. Collie rushed to Lucky, scooping him up. "You saved them, Lucky. You're a hero." She hugged the trembling puppy as the other staff checked on the rest of the animals. The police arrived minutes later, lights flashing. Officers fanned out across the grounds, searching for the intruder. Sam's mom got a call at home and woke him immediately. "Sam, something happened at the shelter. Lucky's okay, but you should come." Sam dressed in a rush, barely tying his shoes, and rode with his mom through the quiet city streets. When they arrived, police were everywhere and staff gathered in small groups, speaking in low voices. Sam ran inside, breathless, looking for Lucky. Ms. Collie met him at the door, Lucky in her arms. "He's all right. He saved everyone tonight." Sam's eyes filled with tears as he reached for Lucky. "I knew you'd protect them," he whispered, hugging the puppy close. The police officer, Officer Bell, crouched beside Sam. That man was the same one from before. He tried to break in and take the puppies. Lucky sounded the alarm. If it weren't for him, we might have lost more than just a window tonight. Sam nodded, voice full of pride. He's always protecting his family. He never gives up. Lucky pressed his head to Sam's chest, finally relaxing as his siblings nuzzled close. The staff took turns hugging Sam and Lucky, all of them grateful. One of the officers ruffled Lucky's ears. "He's a real hero, this one." As dawn broke, news spread through the town. People showed up at the shelter, bringing blankets, food, and notes of thanks for Lucky and his siblings. Children drew pictures of Lucky with a cape, calling him the bravest puppy. But Lucky never left his siblings, not even for a moment. He curled up beside them, guarding them with his whole heart. No matter how many people cheered, Lucky only cared about the little family he fought to save. Sam sat beside him, whispering, "It's over now, Lucky. He won't hurt you again. You did it. You saved everyone." Lucky gazed up at Sam, tired but proud. He had scars, but his heart was stronger than ever. The sun rose on a new day. The shelter, once filled with shadows, now glowed with hope, thanks to one small puppy who refused to be afraid. The shelter doors opened early the next morning. Word had already spread across town about Lucky, the puppy who had saved the whole shelter. People came by the dozens, arms full of dog treats and warm blankets. Some even brought homemade signs. Children pressed their faces to the windows, hoping to see the hero dog. Sam stood beside Lucky's enclosure, watching as a steady stream of visitors passed by. Lucky and his siblings curled together, safe and tired but curious about all the new faces. The staff kept a careful eye, making sure no one got too close or scared them. Still, Lucky's ears perked up every time Sam spoke. It was clear he trusted only a few people. And Sam was at the top of the list. By noon, Ms. Collie pulled Sam aside, her expression serious but warm. "Sam, we've had over 20 adoption offers just for Lucky," she explained. "People are moved by his bravery." Sam's stomach tightened. He glanced at Lucky, who was watching him anxiously through the glass. "What about his siblings?" Sam asked quietly. Ms. Collie's eyes softened. "That's the thing, Sam. Most people only want Lucky. A few asked about the smallest one, but almost no one wants all three." Sam felt a lump in his throat. "He won't be happy without them," he said. They're a family. Mia joined them, carrying a stack of forms. You know, Sam, you've spent more time with these puppies than anyone. If you and your mom wanted, well, the shelter could help you adopt all three. It's not common, but these puppies belong together. Sam blinked in surprise. Do you think my mom would let us? He asked, almost afraid to hope. Ms. Colley smiled. There's only one way to find out. Sam ran to find his mom, who was sitting in the waiting area, answering messages on her phone. He took a deep breath and blurted out, Mom, can we adopt Lucky and his siblings? Please? I know it's a lot, but they can't be separated. He'll never be happy without them. She looked at Sam for a long moment, thinking. That's a big responsibility, Sam, she said. 3 puppies are a lot of work. I know, but I promise I'll help with everything, Sam replied, eyes shining. Lucky saved his family. They belong together. We can't let them be split up after all this. Sam's mom let out a soft sigh, her eyes wet with tears. You really care about them, don't you? With all my heart, Sam whispered. She reached out and squeezed his hand. All right, Sam, we'll do it. We'll bring them home together. Sam's heart soared. He raced back to Miss Colley and Mia, shouting, She said yes. We can adopt them all. The shelter staff burst into smiles. Miss Colley hugged Sam tightly. You did it, Sam. They're your family now. They spent the afternoon filling out forms and getting supplies ready. The shelter threw a small party, just staff, a few volunteers, and Sam's mom. Someone brought a cake shaped like a puppy. Balloons bobbed on every chair. Lucky and his siblings were carried out of the kennel and placed in a cozy new crate, lined with Sam's old hoodie and a blanket that smelled like home. Lucky hesitated for just a moment, then stepped out. Looking up at Sam with trust and relief. Mia crouched down and said, Goodbye, Lucky. You're going to have a great life. Sam promised. We'll come back to visit, I swear. Lucky licked Sam's cheek, tail wagging for the first time since the rescue. His siblings snuggled close, all 3 of them blinking up at Sam's mom as if they couldn't believe this was real. The car ride home was quiet at first. Lucky sat between his siblings, paws tucked under him. Sam reached back from the front seat, fingers brushing Lucky's head. We're going home, buddy. All of you. When they pulled up to their small house, neighbors peeked over fences, curious about the new arrivals. Sam's mom helped him carry the crate inside. Lucky sniffed the air, cautious but curious. His siblings padded beside him, sticking close. Inside, Sam set up a bed in the living room, spreading blankets and lining up food and water bowls. Lucky walked the edges of the room, sniffing every corner, then returned to his siblings and curled up, finally letting himself relax. That evening, Sam's mom watched him set out 3 bowls of food. You sure you're ready for this? She asked, half teasing, half serious. Sam grinned. I've never been more sure about anything. They watched as all 3 puppies ate, tails wagging, eyes shining with happiness and safety. After dinner, Sam sat on the floor, the puppies piled in his lap. He whispered, We're a family now. I'll never let anything bad happen to you, not ever again. Lucky looked up at him, eyes full of trust. His siblings stretched and yawned, finally drifting off to sleep in the warmth of their new home. That night, as rain pattered softly against the windows, Lucky nestled beside Sam on the couch. His siblings slept close, all 3 finally safe and together. For the first time in their lives, the puppies didn't have to be afraid of the night. Sam stayed awake, watching them breathe, feeling the quiet joy of belonging settle deep in his chest. Thank you, he whispered, not sure if he was talking to Lucky, his mom, or the world. Lucky shifted, pressing his nose into Sam's hand as if to say, Thank you too. The storm had passed. The danger was over. And in a little house full of hope and gentle voices, 3 puppies and a boy found the family. They'd been fighting for all along. The first morning in their new home was different from any before. Sunlight streamed through the curtains, falling in warm patches across the floor. Lucky opened his eyes, blinking in confusion at the gentle quiet, then realized his siblings were curled beside him, safe and warm. For a moment, he just listened to the house, the tick of the clock, the low hum of Sam's mom making breakfast, and Sam's soft voice humming as he got ready for school. Sam knelt beside the makeshift puppy bed. "Morning, Lucky. Did you sleep?" "Okay." Lucky licked Sam's hand, tail thumping against the blanket. His siblings stretched, letting out tiny yawns. It felt unreal to be here, with no fear of loud trucks or cold rain. Just a house filled with soft voices and gentle touches. Sam's. Mom brought over bowls of food and smiled. "Let's see if you 3 can finish all this. You're going to grow fast now." Lucky ate slowly, glancing at his siblings as if making sure they got enough. He nudged the smallest one forward, letting her eat first, then finished what was left. After breakfast, Sam clipped simple collars around their necks. "We'll get you proper tags soon," he promised. That week, life shifted into a new rhythm. Sam came home from school every day and rushed straight to the living room. He played gentle games, tossing a ball and laughing as Lucky and his siblings stumbled over each other, learning how to play like normal puppies. Lucky always watched out for his brother and sister, never straying far. Sometimes he'd hesitate at loud noises, an engine outside, a sudden bang in the kitchen, but Sam was always quick to kneel down and whisper, "It's okay, Lucky. You're safe now." The puppies learned to trust Sam's mom, too. She took them into the backyard for fresh air, laughing as they sniffed the grass and chased leaves. The neighbors peeked over the fence, smiling and waving. "You've got your hands full, huh?" one joked. Sam's mom grinned. "We wouldn't trade them for anything." A few days later, Sam invited Mia and Miss Collie to visit. The puppies greeted them at the door, tails wagging shyly. "They look so much better," Mia said, kneeling to pet them. "I can't believe. These are the same scared pups from the shelter." Miss Collie smiled. "They're happy now. You can see it in their eyes." Lucky was still protective. If someone new came too close, he'd step in front of his siblings. But as the days passed, he started to relax. One afternoon, Lucky left his brother and sister sleeping on the rug and padded over to Sam, curling up at his side. Sam looked down, surprised, then smiled. "Hey, buddy. You're finally taking a break?" Lucky sighed, closing his eyes, letting himself trust that the world was safe now. That night, Sam and his mom sat on the couch, the puppies piled in their laps. "Are you okay with all this, Mom?" Sam asked quietly. She smiled and brushed his hair back. "I've never seen you this happy." "And I love them, too." Sam hugged her. "I don't ever want to lose them. I still worry sometimes. What if that man comes back?" She squeezed his hand. "He's gone, Sam. Lucky made sure of that. And you're not alone anymore either." Sometimes old fears crept in. The puppies would whimper in their sleep or jump at a loud sound. But every time, Sam or his mom would be there, gentle and patient, soothing them until they settled again. Little by little, the bad memories faded. The puppies learned to trust that hands could be gentle, that food would always come, and that sleep was safe. Lucky chased a butterfly in the yard one morning and let out a real bark of joy, a sound Sam had never heard before. He grinned, calling, "Go on, Lucky. You're free now." Even the neighbors noticed. One left a note on their door. "Thank you for giving those puppies a second chance. Life wasn't always easy." There were chewed-up shoes, spilled water bowls, and muddy paw prints on the floor. But Sam's family laughed through it all, grateful for the noise and chaos that came with loving 3 dogs. One evening, As the sun set and the world glowed gold, Sam watched Lucky walk across the yard. For the first time, Lucky didn't look back to check on his siblings. He came straight to Sam and pressed his head against his knee. "You're safe now," Sam whispered, stroking Lucky's soft fur. "You did it. You made it home." And in that quiet moment, with the sky turning pink and the house full of warmth, Sam knew they were healing together as a family. Months passed, and the story of Lucky and his siblings became something of a legend in the small town. The shelter kept a photo of the puppies taped to their front desk, 3 little faces, eyes bright, fur finely glossy. Every day, someone new would stop by Sam's house, asking about the puppies, bringing treats, or just hoping to catch a glimpse of the dogs that had survived the highway and changed so many lives. One bright Saturday, the local community center hosted an adoption fair, and Sam's family was invited as guests of honor. Sam's mom loaded the car with toys, water, and a few favorite blankets. Sam carefully attached shiny new collars to each puppy, making sure their tags were in place. Lucky's tag gleamed in the morning sun. "You ready, hero?" Sam asked, clipping on Lucky's leash. Lucky wagged his tail, his eyes full of trust and excitement. His siblings bounced beside him, no longer afraid of new places or strangers. At the fair, the atmosphere was loud and happy. Kids ran across the grass, laughter ringing out. Booths lined the walkways, handing out adoption flyers and information on animal care. A banner read, "Thank you, Lucky, the highway hero." When they arrived, the crowd parted, eyes on the puppies. Sam held Lucky close, feeling a swell of pride. He knelt beside the trio, introducing them to curious faces. "This is Lucky. He's the bravest dog I've ever met. These are his siblings. They wouldn't be here if it weren't for him." A little girl knelt and offered Lucky a treat. "Is he really the dog who stopped the cars?" she asked, eyes wide. Sam nodded. "He stood in the road and wouldn't let anyone pass. He protected his family, even when he was scared." The girl stroked Lucky's head. "Thank you for saving your family, Lucky." Neighbors came up, sharing stories of how they'd followed the rescue online. Some brought drawings and thank you cards. Miss Colley and Mia arrived too, hugging Sam and kneeling to greet the puppies. "They look amazing," Mia said. "I still remember the first day, how scared they were." Sam smiled. "They're not scared anymore." Near the stage, the mayor tapped the microphone. "Can we have everyone's attention?" she called. The crowd fell silent. "We're here today to celebrate our shelter's successes and the animals who inspire us to be better. And we have a very special guest, Lucky the highway hero." Applause erupted. Sam guided Lucky and his siblings up to the stage. The mayor presented Sam with a certificate for bravery, compassion, and never giving up on family, she read. Sam's cheeks went red as the crowd cheered. Lucky barked, wagging his tail. The mayor smiled. Lucky's story reminds us that one small act of courage can change everything. We hope more people will open their hearts and homes to animals in need. Ms. Colley whispered to Sam, "You changed his life, but he changed yours too, didn't he?" Sam nodded, voice low. "He taught me what it means to never give up." After the ceremony, people lined up to meet the puppies. Sam stayed close to Lucky, making sure he never felt overwhelmed. The siblings played in the grass, tumbling and chasing each other. Tails wagging. An older man came over and crouched next to Sam. "My daughter saw your story and wanted a rescue dog too. She says Lucky is her hero." Sam smiled, glancing down at Lucky. "He's my hero too." As the afternoon faded, Sam's family gathered their things. Sam lifted Lucky into his arms, hugging him tight. "Ready to go home, buddy?" he asked. Lucky licked Sam's chin, tail thumping against his chest. At home. The puppies collapsed into their beds, worn out from all the attention. Sam and his mom sat together, watching them sleep. "I still think about that night on the highway," Sam said quietly. "If Lucky hadn't stayed, I don't know what would have happened." His mom put an arm around him. "You listened to him, Sam. That made all the difference." Later, as the sun set, the sky turned pink and gold. Sam took Lucky for a walk, just the two of them. The neighborhood was quiet, leaves rustling in the soft breeze. "You did something amazing," Sam told Lucky, kneeling in the grass. "You saved your family. You changed so many lives, including mine." Lucky pressed close, eyes shining. He didn't need words to say thank you. When they reached home, Sam's mom was waiting at the door. The house was filled with warmth, soft lamplight, and the peaceful sound of sleeping puppies. Sam stroked Lucky's fur, voice gentle. "We'll always be a family, no matter what." Lucky curled up with his siblings, content and safe, the shadows of his past finally gone. He wasn't just the puppy who blocked a highway, he was a hero, a brother, and the heart of a new beginning. And as the stars blinked awake in the night sky, Sam and Lucky sat side by side, knowing their story had only just begun. Did this story touch your heart? Give it a thumbs up, share it around, and drop your location in the comments.